Hello everyone, I'm Thomas Tabell, the creator slash director of the Sonic Tales, and this is the commentary for episode 4. This is a new theme song that we re-recorded, because I got tired of the old one, so I had Catherine, the voice of Tails, re-record the vocals for it, and then I recorded a little drum ditty that I did for it, and then I synthesized the background music with a guitar in Guitar Pro. And I originally had an overdriven guitar, is what it was called. It was like in loud rock band type things. But then I settled with the jazz guitar because it sounded more like the original theme and it seemed to fit the series more. Episode 4 was by far the hardest to do for me because episodes 1 through 3 were written at the same time and based on the game itself. And episode 4 was the first that I actually just wrote by myself, like not in regards to the game. I at first did, like here I used the rocks as a joke. That shot was actually kind of difficult for me because I wanted them to move a specific way and it took me 80 million times to get it right, but then I finally got it right. But anyway, 4 was the first written mostly not on the game because I wanted to introduce Knuckles, who you just saw a couple seconds ago. He's voiced by Robert, my brother, and I think that Robert did a really good job with Knuckles' voice because as I was writing the script, I actually had Knuckles' voice in my head, and as soon as he started acting it out, it was exactly what I wanted, so I was pretty happy with that. And Catherine, of course, the voice of Tails, always does a great job. As I was writing the script for this episode, I was actually wondering if I could do it in the game because I ended up with a lot of shots with Knuckles, Sonic, and Tails all in the same shot. I went into the game and I figured out that I really couldn't do it, but then thanks to video editing, compositing, and of course debug mode in the game, I eventually pulled it off. Debug mode is really helpful because I can not only place whatever I want wherever I want, but it also has this little counter in the corner that's helpful in matching positions of cameras and characters. There was a good example of compositing a few seconds ago where I had Tails flying around and the camera was focused on Tails and I had to composite in Sonic frame by frame because I wanted the camera focused on Tails, and you can't do that unless you're playing as Tails, and you can't have Sonic in the game when you're playing as Tails. So, and since I don't have the proper software, I had to actually add Sonic in frame by frame. I like the subtle references like this, that it's a show, like the trailer reference, because it's just plain funny.
Eggman did. Didn't you watch the trailer?
In a few seconds here, you'll see Sonic and Tails run off the screen, which is something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and I eventually figured out how to do it. Because with debug mode, I can record a background shot, which is really useful because what I do is I just have the character look up, and then the camera moves, and when I switch to debug mode, the camera's locked in that position. So I just position the character where I want him to be, and then look up, and then I can have the background shot. So that's pretty cool, and I could move the moving shot in a way so that it looks like they run off screen. So one of the problems I had was in the scene where Tails says, "Look, it's Knuckles," and it moves over to see Knuckles. You'll notice that the background is actually different because the background actually changes based on where the character is positioned, which is not good for video, but makes sense in the game. So that was one of the problems I had. So I just kind of lived with it, and hopefully no one will notice it too much, or get bothered by it too much. This shot right here is actually a split screen because, for those of you that have played Sonic, you know you can't have Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles in the same shot. So I had to just record two different shots, with one with Sonic and Tails and the other with Knuckles, and then split screen them together. And for the shots where Knuckles moves, the camera would move as well when I moved Knuckles, so I had to actually composite in his movement, like when he jumps off in a few seconds here. I actually had to add that in frame by frame, like right there. Right here when Sonic falls off, it's a good example of looking like he fell off the screen, and that this is now a background shot, which I can do because of debug mode, which is really cool. And for those of you that have played the game probably wonder why the bridge didn't break when they're standing on it before. What I was actually able to do was just create a bunch of bridges in the same spot. And sort of a glitch in the game is that they won't break if there's multiple bridges in one spot. So then, once I needed him to fall, I just had Tails jump, and every time he jumped, one of the bridges break. So I had him jump until there was only one left, and then I recorded him jumping in the bridge breaking. This final shot was kind of easy to do because all I had to do was position Sonic where Knuckles was, so the camera would be in the exact same position, and Tails is pretty much independent of the camera, so I could easily move him around and stuff, and still have the camera match between Knuckles and Sonic. Episode 4 is by far the best in my eyes, and I was definitely very happy with it, and more episodes will be made in the future, and the story will I'll figure out the story later. So I hope you enjoyed the commentary.
He really is a
see y'all later.
fox.